Guess what?
What?
You are. Mommy's having a baby.
Yay!
That was like the cause, or like, you know, if I was having a miscarriage, whatever. So they noticed that my HCG levels was low. So they wanted me to come back every other day. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Carmen Mia here, and I'm back with another video. Okay, if you hear sirens, you just hear sirens, because I mean, I don't know, it'll be over. But it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I took to Instagram and I did a poll, and I asked if this was a video that y'all wanted, and majority of y'all said yeah. A lot of y'all say yeah. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take to this video because I don't have that much longer until I have my baby. So yeah, I'm currently 36 weeks and 5 days. Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and get to it. Throughout the video, I will be like highlighting things that I went through up until this point, because I'll probably upload a video every week until I had a baby and stuff like that. But we're just gonna go ahead and get into the video. If you see me looking down, it's because my pregnant ass can't remember shit, so I wrote notes on sticky notes. So yeah, so how I found out I was pregnant. So I got my period, right? Got my period May 26th. I had my period from May 26th to May 30th, 31st. Okay. After that, I had no period. So that's just that. I have no period. I do remember spotting around my birthday, but it really wasn't like, it was like my birthday, so I wasn't really worried about it. Like, I was worried about it. I was just like, okay, if it's gonna come, it's gonna come. I was prepared for it. Birthday came, birthday went. Straight like that. Like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. Birthday came, birthday left. So like one night in July, I was home working on my business stuff, and I was drinking, and Sam told me to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, and I seen, like, you know, like a little bit of blood. So I was like, all right, there's something not right. Like, it is the middle of July, about to be the middle of July. I was like, let me just go ahead. Let me just go ahead and take this test. So I went ahead and took that test, y'all. And lo and behold, I was like, damn, dog. Like I know you tripping. Like, you tripping, right? Like, this not right, is it? So boom, there it is. So because I was bleeding, I was kind of nervous, because I was just like, all right, I didn't get my period, but I remember spotting earlier, and then I'm bleeding again, so something gotta be off. So that's why I just went ahead to the labor and delivery triage. And, like, you know, if you don't know, but like, triage is like for like the emergency part of labor and delivery, when something's wrong with you, where you go before you have your baby, before they like admit you and all that other stuff. So I went, and I was like, I took a pregnancy test. I was like, first of all, I think I took one and one came out negative, and I took another one and it came out positive, but I was bleeding. So I was like, no, something not right. So I went there and I told them that. When I first went there, the first lady, it was this black lady, first of all. She was acting real weird, because she was like, well, if you had she was like, she said something about if one came up negative and you're bleeding, then how do you know that you're pregnant? First of all, bitch, I already have a 5-year-old. She about to be 5. So I know my body. You don't know my body. I came here because I'm bleeding. If I already had one that came up positive, like, and I'm bleeding, that should be a red sign for you, like a red flag. I don't know who pissed in her Cheerios that morning, but Shorty woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and like the other nurse next to her was looking at her like, what? So I put my information down. They took all my information, bada boom, bada bang. So they took me back, took my vitals and all that, and then put me in a room. So it was too early to be hooked up to a monitor, whatever. So I was just sitting in a room, and that's when they took me back for an ultrasound. So I get the ultrasound, and they can't find nothing. So they're like, so we know that you're pregnant because the P test came back positive, but we don't know where the baby is. So I'm just like, perfect. So, and then at that moment in time, they wanted me to come back. And so, like, fast forward, they had called me and told me that my HCG levels were low, and that's why they couldn't detect if the baby was in my uterus or not. And previously, I had like some endometriosis scares, so they didn't know if that was like the cause, or like, you know, if I was having a miscarriage, whatever. So they noticed that my HCG levels was low, so they wanted me to come back every other day. Excuse me. So I was going every other day to get my blood drawn, to see if my HCG levels were up, to see if the baby was still viable. So finally, after like, I want to say a week and a half of me going and getting to, and like giving them my blood, and them they lost like 2 lab works. How the hospital lose 2 lab works, I don't know, but that's why I don't trust hospital now, like, period. But after them losing my lab work and stuff like that, they realized my HCG levels were going up a little bit, but it wasn't as much. So by then I had like 2 ultrasounds by them, but the hospital don't give you pictures of the ultrasounds that you get when you're in emergency, when you're in triage. I don't know why, but they don't. So when they finally was able to see the baby on the screen, that's when I stopped going to give them my blood. So then they wanted me to go to another facility to get an ultrasound to really determine like exactly how far along I was. July something, it's gonna be like on the next slide. But July something, I went and got another ultrasound, and that ultrasound, so I was like 6 weeks and 5 days or something like that. In my very first estimated delivery due date was March 2nd. So that's what I was going by, March 2nd. So I'm telling dude, bada boom, bada bing, whole time, I had already told him, like, when I was on my way to the hospital, like, I'm not feeling well, like, this, that, and the third, whatever. Mind you, this is back in July, okay? Back in July. All that other stuff. And mind you, even before that, even before I peed on the stick and all that, I had told him, like, something just don't feel right. Like, I just don't feel good and all this other stuff. But it was my birthday, so I'm just thinking, oh, bitch, you just been drinking too much. Period. Like, you just been turning up too much. And that's just that. The whole time, I had a baby in my system. But so yeah, so they told me what my estimated delivery date was, and it was March 2nd. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, whatever. Um, that's just gonna be that. So I had already I had already determined that I probably wasn't gonna have my baby in the hospital this time. Um, and so that's when I found my midwives that I go to currently. Um, so I made that appointment, and when I went to that appointment, that my first initial appointment was cool. It was long, but then they realized, hold on, like if your first day of your last period was May 26th, then your due date is really March 12th. So at this point in time, I was just like, okay, like, all right, like I wasn't too happy because I already wasn't happy about being pregnant. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I was not ready. It's like if you're not with somebody and y'all not planning on being pregnant, then of course everybody's gonna have their own thoughts and opinions and what they want to do and stuff like that. And I did, like, I had my own thoughts and opinions, you know. But when I was in the hospital and they was like, oh, we don't even know if this baby gonna live, whatever, whatever, like we can't even find it. I was like already in my head, like prepared to probably lose my baby. So the fact that they like, you know, found found him and all that other stuff, then yeah, like I had to mentally prepare. So when I went to my first initial appointment with my midwives, I still was, you know, depressed and stuff like that. And then even so, like around that time, like one of my friends had like got shot and stuff. So like it was just all this stuff like going on. And then like he still is, but that's when he started acting real weird when he realized, oh, that baby living, so she probably is gonna have this baby. And that's when he just decided to just fall off the face of the earth. um but yeah, so my first initial appointment with my midwives, they told me that with my, you know, what they are true for my um delivery date would be. So after they said that, that's when they wanted me to go ahead and set up another ultrasound. But I only got that ultrasound because I had blood work done, and the blood work came back that I am a carrier for SMA. And I'll like leave like a little description of what SMA is, because it's kind of hard to say like the name of what SMA is. But it's basically like a deformity in babies and stuff like that. They have SMA type 1 and type 2, I believe. And they didn't do that, didn't come up when I was pregnant with Carson, so I didn't know anything about that. And obviously, like with midwives, they, because it's like holistic and natural and everything, they want to check to be sure, you know, about everything. They want to make sure that you're going to be healthy along the whole entire pregnancy, or you know you cannot give birth like a home birth, or like have a water birth, or you know an unmedicated birth and stuff like that. So when they seen that I was a carrier for that, that's when I got set up to have ultrasounds once a month. And also because Carson, when she was born, she had polydextrals, and that means she's born with extra fingers. So Carson had extra fingers on both hands, but that's because that's on her dad's side. So they just wanted to be sure that this baby was, you know, good and everything. But back to my first initial appointment. So my first initial appointment at my birthing center, they just asked me a series of questions, you know, one being like religion and all that other stuff. And if you see my previous videos or you follow me on Instagram or you know me personally, I'm no longer Christian. So I told them about me being a part of the IFA family, and you know what I do and how I practice and all the other stuff. So you know it goes right along with why I wanted to have an unmedicated birth. This is what our ancestors did. They didn't have no epidurals, they didn't have pitocin, they didn't have laughing gas, they didn't have any of this. So I wanted, and I still, you know, for my future pregnancies, I plan on doing this too. Because I was 19 years old with Carson, I didn't really know much. I did hold off on getting an epidural with Carson as long as I could, but I was young and I didn't know no better, and that's just that. But I ain't doing it no more. But yeah, when you go there for your appointments, basically you check in, and then you weigh yourself. You weigh yourself every appointment. So I was probably like a good 122, 125. In the beginning of my pregnancy, I'm probably like a good 150 right now. 147, 150. So I didn't really gain that much, but I gained with Carson. Whoo, child, baby, I was like 160, 165. That girl had me on the high charts, okay? But that's why also, like, I'm so grateful about this pregnancy, because I'm still working. I'm still able to work. They haven't told me to have my ass down yet. So I'm gonna just keep going to work until I get tired of going to work, or until I have this baby. But yeah, so your first initial appointment at the birthing center, it is your longest. And then after that, you just go, you check in, you weigh yourself, they call you back, they make sure you see every midwife, so that when it does come time for you to give birth, you're comfortable with every midwife, because you don't know exactly who you're gonna, you know, birth with. I don't really have a particular favorite at the moment. I have seen one midwife numerous times, so I probably will give birth with her, but it's just whoever is available at the moment in time, especially depending on when I give birth, you know, because after hours somebody has to come in. But yeah, so but yeah, so after your first initial appointment, like I said, you walk in, you check in, you weigh yourself, and then you wait. Then they bring you back and they go over, they give you a binder with all your stuff of like information that you need to know along your pregnancy. They give you like information on foods that you should eat, because you know everybody is different. So you got vegetarians, you got pescatarians, you got people that just eat pork, beef, and fish and everything under the freaking sun. So they're probably going to be more, they're going to get more of the protein and vitamins they need, rather than somebody like me that's like pescatarian, or I don't eat beef or pork. I only eat turkey, chicken, and seafood. So I had to substitute with more veggies and certain stuff like that. Also, this whole entire pregnancy, I ain't take no prenatals. There's no prenatals. I ain't take them Jones, period. Sorry to my midwives if they see this. I ain't take them prenatals. No, I didn't take them. Why? Because what's the point? Like, if I'm eating what I'm supposed to eat, and what I eat contains the nutrients and things that I need, I'm not going to take no medicine. If I'm having an unmedicated birth, why the freak am I taking prenatals? I'm not taking them. Didn't take them. That's just that. But since my HCG levels were low, that just means that my iron is low. I'm anemic, period. So I wasn't really surprised in the beginning. But in order to stay at the birthing center, I needed my iron levels to be at a certain level. So they did put me on iron. So let's backtrack a little bit. Around, like, I want to say my second to third month, I feel like once I peed on the stick, that's when like morning sickness started to happen for real. And that shit ain't stopped till like week 2022. I really feel like I did not stop smoking weed until after my nausea was done. And my midwives knew that. They knew that because I couldn't keep nothing down. And I was just so depressed, like so stinking depressed. Okay? So depressed. I was so depressed. I just was not prepared. I just couldn't do it. I had HG, hyperemesis gravid something, but it's called HG. I was non-stop throwing up, sick, couldn't keep nothing down, crying. I was like stomach hurting from like throwing up, couldn't keep water down, Gatorade, food, nothing. Like I couldn't keep anything down to the point where I had to go to the hospital twice to get IVs because I was dehydrated. Like, and by then I didn't tell nobody. Like nobody knew I was pregnant. So I would post up and people would think like, oh, she's just hot, like she's just dehydrated, like she's just getting an IV. Whole time it's because my ass was pregnant and I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I had nothing because I didn't feel good. So they put me on medicine for my nausea and it made it worse. So altogether, like I was trying, but it made it worse. And then they realized that, you know, my iron levels were still low. So they put me on iron meds. They made me sick. Like this baby didn't like nothing at all. Like, so I had to substitute for more iron rich foods and like smoothies and stuff like that. But then thank God for my doula, she sent me some information on some all natural vegan iron pills. I bought them on Amazon. I'll probably go ahead and link them down below if you need them. Even if you're not pregnant and you have low iron, these are really good. They don't make you sick. They don't taste like that. They don't give you that gritty taste. Like if you take iron pills, then you know what I'm talking about. But they don't give you that taste at all. It does tell you, they do recommend that you take it 30 minutes before your meal or 2 hours after your meal. And it is a lower dosage, so you can take it 2 to 3 times a day, and that's what I was on, taking like 2 to 3 times a day, especially because it wasn't as high as the dosage that the midwives gave me. But I think the prescription that the midwives gave me, I think was too much on my baby, and he was just like, "Ma, fuck this shit," like, no. Every appointment, you know, take your weight. They go over your binder with you, so you have certain things that you're supposed to do, like turn in and stuff. So like I had to turn in like what I ate for like 2 days. I had to turn in a couple papers. I don't even remember at this moment in time because it's been so long ago. But after they just ask you all those questions and stuff, you get your blood pressure taken, and then they check for the fetal heart rate and your uterus size. And your uterus size is just to see how big your stomach is, you know, well, like, you know, how big your uterus is, and make sure it's on the right track. About birthing at a birthing center is you get to leave at like 4 to 6 hours after you give birth. And to me, that is so ideal because I don't I don't want to say I didn't like staying at the hospital, but I didn't like staying at the hospital. I really didn't. Like, it's not a lie. They do wake you up every 2-3 hours, and I'm not with that. I'm not going for that. This time, I'm not. Okay, I'd rather be home with my other kid, and in my own bed, in my own aurora, and doing me. Like, that's just how I plan on doing it. I just want to be with my family. Like, I want to be with my son and my kid, like, and my daughter and my mama. Okay, that's just that. Like, and that's just how I feel. I don't want to be locked up in nobody's hospital, especially with nobody's corona. I can only have one visitor and all this other stuff. No, I'm cool. And that's another reason why I got a doula, because I need that extra support. And thankfully she is certified, so her and my mom is able to be with me when I do go into labor. And if I do have to go to the hospital, both of them are able to go because my doula is certified. So that is one tip. If you have a doula and she's not certified, I don't know what state you in, but with all these new rules and regulations because of COVID and stuff like that, be sure that you're able to have your doula and another support system, or else you're gonna have to choose. And I wasn't choosing. Period. I wasn't choosing. Or else I would have this baby home with nobody. Period. That's just that. Like, yeah, no. So I'm really, 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 really grateful and thankful that I did come across her page and stuff like that, and I am paying her out of my own pocket, no help whatsoever. That's just that's just that. But yeah, you get to leave 4 to 6 hours after you give birth, and that's what I'm doing. So now I'm gonna talk about some of the things that I went through. So I'm gonna just like recap on some of the things that I did go through during this pregnancy. So after a while, you know, around your second trimester into your third trimester, you get more blood work taken just to be sure, you know, everything is going well and stuff like that. Well, around this time is when I'm supposed to take the sugar drink, and I denied it. I denied it because I didn't deny it because of the taste. Everybody is like, women out here are so controversial on the taste of it and why people feel like they don't want to take it, this and that. I denied it because of the ingredients in it. I don't feel like I should sugar myself up and my baby up just for them to be like, oh yeah, you probably do have preeclampsia. No. So what I decided to do was prick my finger, and I had to do that 4 times a day for a whole week. 4 times a day for a whole week, okay? So I had to do it once I first woke up, an hour after I had breakfast, an hour after I had lunch, an hour after I had dinner. And that's just that, with like 6 to 7 hours in between my dinner and my first time waking up, okay? And I took a log of my numbers. And this time around, I don't have preeclampsia. With Carson, I was on bed rest twice with Carson, and I was as big as a house. And I feel like I didn't have any problems until I took that drink. And that's just me. And I told them that. I was like, I'm not taking it because I really feel like my health started to spike up after I took that drink. I said, so this time I don't want to take it. You have the option to not take that drink. You do not have to take that drink. Do not listen to these doctors. Like, they're going to lie to you and tell you there's no other way to get around it. You can, I've seen people say they ate candy, they had jelly, they took the jelly bean test, they did what I did, checked my blood sugar, like I, you know, pricked my finger and stuff like that. You don't have to take that drink if you don't want to. And I advise you not to. and I'm gonna just leave it at that. 36 weeks and 5 days. I have had a ultrasound every month since October, I want to say, and he's been doing absolutely fine. I'm going for my last one tomorrow, i.e. today, because it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. So I get my last ultrasound today, and then, you know, after Friday, he can just come whenever he feels like it, period. Like, that's just that. As I said before and earlier in the video, since July, his dad, he's just, how should I put it? Trying to still live his bachelor lifestyle. His time's coming to an end. But yeah, I just been doing everything by myself. You know, my support system, my friends, and my mom and all them. But regarding my baby dad, yeah, he wanna be a kings don't act like this. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Props to him though. He knew, he's known from the beginning. For real. All jokes aside, he's known. And if there's, this video was basically just about from beginning up until now. That's just that. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like I said, so far I love my midwives. I love the company so far. Like, the, you know, like, I just like how they do everything. They don't pressure you into doing anything that you don't want to do. They listen to you, which I really like. It's like I'm really in control of this pregnancy. Thus far, I've done everything that they've, you know, requested of me to do in order to stay within their facility to have my baby in the water. I did recently fill out my birthing plan, so I'll probably put that in our next video to just further explain like what my birthing plan is. And you know, it is just a plan, so that's what I'm affirming this plan, and God willing, this plan will come fruitful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, I'll be back with another one. Love you guys. Bye. Oh, I have to tell you something.
What?
So look at your shirt, and it says sister goals, right? Tell me, what do you think that means? Sister. Are you a sister?
Yes.
You are?
No.
No?